Week 2 is here. Time to get the awful taste of that New York Jets loss out of our mouths. Welcome to the Doghouse, your inside look at the Cleveland Browns. I'm Andy McNamara alongside Browns insider from WKYC Sports in Cleveland, Matt Florjancic. Matt, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, and it looks like the Browns have decided on a quarterback this week, so that's a good sign.
Apparently,
regardless of who it was, at least they have one going into the game.
Well, and that's the key point. Going into the game, we're recording this Friday afternoon, so the news just came down moments ago that Johnny Manziel, my guy, Johnny Football, will in fact be the starting quarterback. Josh McCown, it was said, did not pass concussion protocol, even though there were multiple reports that he was fine in film room and saying, hey, I've been hit 10 times harder than that. For whatever the concussion protocol is, he did not pass it. Do you think this is, Matt, like, we don't want to question the integrity of the process, but it just seems a little odd that McCown seems so fine and Johnny gets the start?
Well, I think part of it, too, is that he has to pass a certain level of, competency and symptom-free before he can go on to the next level. So he had to be cleared to be in a meeting. Then he had to be cleared for practice. But before you get cleared to practice, you have to be cleared for physical activity. And you have to go through a certain amount of physical activity before you can be cleared for practice. You have to be symptom-free, 100% symptom-free before they will even think about letting you back on the practice field. So clearly, at some point, there was not 100% clear, whether it be him reporting headaches or sensitivity to light or dizziness or whatever, what have you. There was something in the protocol that Josh McCown could not get past by today that will now prevent him from making that start on Sunday.
Wow. And so what that means is that, yes, Austin Davis is going to be backing up Johnny Manziel. Johnny gets the actual start at quarterback. I'm thrilled, Matt. Yes, the studio audience is so happy about it that we...
you can clap now, but at Sunday at about 4:25, we're going to see if you're still clapping because you weren't last week.
Hold on. Now, are you telling me that that there might be a chance that Johnny will not succeed and build on that one touchdown, 3 fumble interception day?
Well, I got to tell you that I know I had to talk you off the ledge, and I know a couple of your producers had to talk you off the ledge last Sunday night. So I'm just merely poking fun at my co-host because I know you are very passionate, and as well you should be. To be a Browns fan, you have to be passionate and loyal because God knows you go through a lot. But I would hope that he could build off of that in a positive way. If he builds off of it in a negative way, then I wouldn't want to be Ray Farmer coming back in 2 weeks.
No. And, hey, we want to hear from you. Our Twitter question, you can send to @AndyMC81, @MattFlorjancic. Email us, thedoghouseshow@gmail.com. I put out a couple today. Well, one was, all right, who gives the Browns the better chance to win Sunday versus the Tennessee Titans? Is it Josh McCown or Johnny Manziel? Now the news broke. All right, it is going to be Johnny. So score prediction for the Browns game. And we're going to get to ours a little bit later on. You can tweet yours in @AndyMC81, @MattFlorjancic with Johnny Manziel in at quarterback. What is your score prediction? And did it change? Did it matter to you if it was Josh McCown or Johnny Manziel under center for Sunday's game? So, Matt, here's the concerning part. Let's start with the Tennessee Titans here, and we'll swing around a little bit later at the Barkov, get to the listeners' tweets, and also give our AFC North game picks of the week. For the Tennessee Titans, you stay at number 2. You take Marcus Mariota. Week 1, you go against Jameis Winston, the top overall pick. Make him look like a rookie quarterback. Mariota went out and had a perfect quarterback rating. A perfect quarterback rating. I can't remember the last time a veteran starter got a perfect QB rating. Never mind a guy in his first NFL game. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 209 yards. And Matt, to me, it really seemed like a head coach of the Titans, Ken Wisenhunt, put a system in place where Mariota was not relied on to do everything himself. He only threw the ball 16 times.
Yeah, he did, and he looked good when he did sling it. 13 of 16, 209 yards, the 4 touchdowns. First rookie quarterback ever to throw 2 touchdowns in the first quarter of an opening weekend game. He had over 13.1 yards per pass attempt, which is absolutely unheard of. Just an all-around great performance. Just the second rookie ever to have 4 touchdowns in his debut. Only Fran Tarkenton had accomplished the feat prior to Mariota. But the good thing is, him starting off on a perfect quarterback rating, well, it gives you hope because it can only go down from there, right? It's not going to hold that level of consistency.
We hope.
Throughout an entire season. Now, the Browns are hoping that they can get back to the secondary that they talked themselves into being all throughout the offseason. And credit to Sean Gibson for stepping up and answering media questions yesterday, because he was the first defensive back, really, other than Tremont Williams, who answered the bell and discussed what was a lackluster performance against the New York Jets. And they're itching to get back onto the field, and they're itching to get their shot at Mariota. But you better make sure that you rattle this kid, because he looked pretty darn good in his first start in the NFL. Not bad for a kid who had a lot of knocks as a project coming out, and hearing that Jameis Winston was a much more polished potential quarterback.
Well, yeah, and here's what's interesting to me, too. What was Marcus Mariota coming out of college, coming out of Oregon, known for? One read, just run the ball, right? He ran it twice for 6 yards. That was shocking to me when I saw that stat line, Matt, because my thinking coming into this game was, hey, Coach Pat, call Urban Meyer of Ohio State. All they did was pin the edges. Mariota couldn't escape, make him throw the ball, and you beat him down. Well, in the NFL, he didn't run. He didn't have to run. He was so efficient. And that's what really surprised me. Like, if Mariota ran for 70 yards too, I thought maybe there's a game plan. But, Matt, if this guy's staying in the pocket and beating you, that is very concerning for this Browns defense.
Well, the thing that was most concerning when you look at the Browns against the Jets was the fact that Fitzpatrick is known for being very accurate and having a very quick release.
Yeah.
And he picked the Browns apart. They didn't have a single sack on them, didn't really put all that much pressure on them. Even when they did get a chance to collapse the pocket, still didn't get home. So that's a problem. And then you look at Mariota, he was extremely accurate last week. Quick release, made good decisions on the fly. The Browns are saying that he was able to do that because Tampa Bay played a very vanilla defense, and they plan on throwing the book at him. I would beg to differ in the fact that I don't think they're going to throw the complete book at him. I think they might throw the abridged version at him because they're not going to want to show too much ahead of, divisional games coming down the pike. They're going to try and do the basic stuff with a little seasoning, a little salt and pepper here and there to try and throw them for a loop. But, they really just have to get back down to basics and get home on the passer. They have to find a way to have lunch at the quarterback, in the backfield. They have to get into the pocket. They have to collapse it. And if they're not able to do that, they better darn well set the edge right on defense when it comes to running the football, because they didn't do either last week, and the Jets took full advantage.
They did none of that. They let Ryan Fitzpatrick sit back there all freaking day and do his thing. And if you let Marcus Mariota, from what we saw week 1, do that, it is going to be a long afternoon. Now, here's another interesting storyline. Not just 2 Heisman winners going head-to-head in Mariota and Johnny. Terrence West returns to Cleveland for the Browns home opener. Of course, traded for a conditional 7th-round pick or whatever it was. Just discarded, being a head case. Last week he ran 41 yards on 13 carries, average of 3.2. That's about what we've seen. Pretty average, but still better than anything that the Browns put up in the backfield a week ago. For Terrence West, and we'll get to Bishop Sankey in a second, him and West splitting the carries a week ago. But for Terrence West, Matt, you've been in the locker room. You've seen this guy. Is he somebody that can elevate his game to a next-level status to try to stick it to his old team?
Oh, without question, Terrence West can do that, and he's going to try and do it. Well, he will not get the boatload of carries unless something happens to Bishop Sankey. He's the Titans' running back. He's their workhorse, and Terrence is going to be the guy that spells Sankey in relief. But if he's got the hot hand, look for him to continue toting the ball down the field until they cool him off. And being the fact that he practiced against his defense for 2 straight training camps, 1 full season, I would definitely give him a little bit of the edge. Granted, they know what he's going to do, but he also knows that they can't set an edge right to save their lives right now, and he's going to take advantage of that. And if he gets to the outside, he's got enough speed to get to that second and third level of the defense. So you better be prepared if you're the Browns to stop that man, because he's going to try and run, and then if he gets into the end zone, he's definitely going to have a nice little reminder and probably exchange some words that might result in a personal foul penalty on his way back to the bench.
Yeah, you're listening to the Doghouse, your inside look at the Cleveland Browns. I'm Andy McNamara alongside Browns insider Matt Fleur-Jansen from WKYC Sports in Cleveland. Hit us up on Twitter at AndyMC81, at Matt Fleur-Jansen. Matt, let's move to the defense of the Tennessee Titans here, and this is where things can get real interesting because it's also Ray Horton. Remember him from a couple regimes ago? Yeah, the defensive coordinator. He's at the helm for the Tennessee Titans. And I'm sure he's going to look to get nice and creative against his former club. Now, on this Titans defense, I don't know about you, but the only guy that really scares me is Jarrell Casey, maybe a little bit Parrish Cox there. But outside of that, I'm not too overwhelmed with the defense. That being said, how do you feel about this Titans defense going up against, pretty much a rookie quarterback in Johnny Football?
I like Tennessee's odds a lot better defensively to stop the Browns offense than I do the Browns defense to stop the Titans offense. I think the Titans, they may be a no-name defense, but they go out there and they play hard. And they generated a turnover and turned it into 7 points last week, and that really kind of helped swing momentum in the favor of the Titans. So they can set the edge. They can play ball the right way. And they also remember that they gave up 26 points to this team a year ago and took the worst home comeback loss in the history of the NFL. And believe me, that has been mentioned, especially one by one Ray Horton. Ray Horton is not one to forget things, and he's definitely not going to forget that, no question about it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's going to be just some extra fire there for the Tennessee Titans. So, okay, Johnny Manziel is going to be starting. Austin Davis backing him up. Cleveland picked up Matt Blanchard to sign to their practice squad as another QB because Lord knows, Johnny's elbow could go at any time. And as far as Josh McCown, who knows where he's really at in that concussion protocol. So for Johnny, yes, he fumbled. He's got to protect the ball better. That's a given. I really
that's key point number one.
Yes.
You can't score when you don't have the ball.
If
turnovers. He doesn't protect the football, it's going to be a long day at the office.
Now, I hope, given a full week of practice and prepping for a team, and it goes both ways, Matt, right? Like, the Browns were able to score on that first drive with Johnny in the ball game last week against the New York Jets, but now the Jets weren't preparing for Johnny. Now the Titans have had a full week to prepare and get ready for Manziel, just like Manziel has been taking first-team reps all week and will so again today. So what's the keys to success? Let's go over a couple here for the Browns. And for me, Matt, it begins with the offensive line. They need to open up some holes because we've been dumping on Isaiah Crowell and Duke Johnson and all that. They had zero push last week, man. They had no shot. So to me, it starts with the offensive line actually showing up and being the best in the business like they claim that they are.
Well, when the offensive line and the secondary talked all offseason long about how they believe they were one of the best units, respectively, on their sides of the ball across the league, they left a lot to be desired in that first performance, and I think the Jets were paying keen attention to the fact that the Browns were doing a lot of talking, and that didn't sit well with them, and they proved that the Browns still have a lot of work to do. Now, you've got to go out and prove it. You got it handed to you, and now you've got to reboot, and you better be ready to prove that you're one of the best in the league, because if you go out there and you lay another egg, guess what? You're just another group of 5 guys that get overpaid to do a job you can't do. Yeah. So, in my opinion, you have to answer the bell if you're the Browns offensive line. There's no question about it. They have to open holes. They have to give the running backs time to find a hole within the defense. And it's not all on them, but the vast majority of it has to start with them. They want to talk about being the leaders and being the